Hey guys, so today's vlog is going to be a bit of story time, um, about this little piggy. um, so yeah, let's get into it. So, I, for a past couple years, um, have gotten really bad ingrown toenails, okay? In case you don't know what an ingrown toenail is, it's pretty damn common actually. It's basically where when you're clipping your nails, or it there can be some other uh, causes for it. But what happens is the side of your nail, like to show you on my finger, like say this side of my nail becomes jagged and sharp, and it starts growing into my skin and starts cutting into my skin, and then it gets infected and it gets pussy and it's gross. Okay, so I've gotten those for the past couple years, and my dad, he has gotten them quite a bit. My dad is the definition of a manly man. He's a very manly man. Me, you can probably tell. I'm not a man. I'm completely fine with saying I'm not a manly man. I'm not. I am a more feminine man. I'm completely fine with saying that. I don't think it's a bad thing. Some people do, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I cry at video games, dude. I cry at video games. um, so yeah, but him being a manly man, his reaction when he has gotten ingrown toenails is, he grabs an X-Acto knife and he grabs some toenail clippers and he just goes to town. And I don't know exactly what he does, but he does something where he just like slices the side of the nail off. Um, so, growing up, that's what he did to me. We would have home surgery, and when I was younger, I would bathe my foot in, we'd stick my foot in ice water to kind of numb it, like some homemade numbing stuff. Um, and then he would go to town, and let me tell you guys, let me level with you. Even though I'm not a manly man, I do have a pretty damn high pain tolerance. Um, and it hurts. It hurts bad, dude. Cause you have somebody with an X-Acto knife cutting through your nail, and then he has to like dig in through the side of the skin to like eat all of the pieces of nail. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's very painful. And so about a month or two ago, before he moved on down to Vegas to get things set up, um, I was having a really bad ingrown toenail, and it was the worst it's ever been. Um, like normally it's just really really sore, but I actually was going up the stairs. I bumped my toe. I like stubbed my toe, and legit fell on the ground. Almost cried. And even though I may cry for like emotional things, me crying for pain is like it doesn't happen, dude. Like something has to hurt so bad for me to cry. I still didn't cry, but I almost did. I could feel like, tears welling up and stuff. I was like, "Okay, I need to get this taken care of." So my dad does his home surgery on it, and it is the most painful experience I've ever had in my entire life. And I've went through a lot of these surgeries, but we didn't, put my foot in ice water or anything this time. I was just like, no, let's just do it. The most painful experience of my life. To put that into perspective for you, um, I have had a spinal tap before, which is where they take a giant ass needle, they shove it into your spine to get some of your spinal fluid. Um, Widely regarded as very, very painful. Um, and yeah, so it hurt more than that. Probably like two times worse than that. It was really, really bad. And so just a couple weeks ago, it came back, and there is no. My dad is obviously not here, so there's no way for me to get home surgery. So we decided the smart thing would probably be to actually go to a doctor and get it um, professionally done, so it won't keep growing back. Um, so that's what we did, and so we get there, we go to urgent care, and we get all signed in and stuff like that. And the doctor, he's like, "Okay, so uh, I'm gonna warn you. This is a pretty painful process. What they do is they take this giant ass needle. It's probably like that thick. Like it's not long, but it's just really thick. Um, and they just stab your toe into the muscle, and they inject it with this numbing stuff. And they have to do it like he had to do it like 6 times, and they have to stab into, I think it's like 4 muscles they have to do. And everybody's like, this is the most painful experience ever. Like them injecting this numbing stuff is the most painful thing you will ever experience. It is so painful. And so I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was worried. I was like, okay, this is gonna hurt really bad, apparently. And so the nurse warns me that it's gonna hurt really bad. The doctor warns me like 5 times it's gonna hurt really bad. And so we get in there, we get in the surgery room. They took me to a surgery room for this. I sit down on, the kind of like weird crunchy paper wrap that they have on the chairs. I never understood that. I guess it's so they can just change it out. Um I don't know. You'd think that plastic wrap or something would be better. It's all crunchy, the paper wrap and stuff. Um so I sit on that, and he's like, "All right, are you ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, dude, I'm ready." And so I'm sitting there, just just crossing my arms, waiting, um, for this immense pain. And um, he's like, "Okay, we're gonna put on the initial, just like the light, uh, numbing stuff, so this won't hurt as badly." I'm like, "All right." So they take this orange stuff, they swab it all over my toe, and they're like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm ready." And I don't really have a needle phobia. A lot of people have a needle phobias. I've never had a needle phobia. Um, I don't really have. I don't have a blood phobia unless it's my blood. Because like a lot of people know, I'm going into forensics. I'm going to be a forensic chemist, so obviously I have to be okay with seeing blood and stuff. Um, so blood doesn't bother me. My blood bothers me. um, so I was like, okay, I can watch during the needle part, but I don't want to watch the actual surgery part of it. And I feel weird calling it surgery, but they called it surgery, so I guess it's fine to call it a surgery. Um, and so this dude with this fat ass needle stabs into my toe, and there's a little bit of stinging, and he's like, "All right, you're gonna feel some pressure as I'm uh injecting you with this stuff." And this is where the story is gonna get pretty detailed. Okay, so if you have a weak stomach or something, I recommend you look away, because I'm also gonna put in pictures. I took pictures, so I'm gonna put in pictures into the video too. So if you're not okay with that, it's totally fine if you click away. But if you are, then let's get into this. Um, so they he stabs into my toe, and he starts injecting this stuff, and it is the weirdest feeling. It literally feels like somebody is just pouring liquid under your skin, like just, and you feel the liquid like swirling around under your skin. It is the weirdest thing. The only thing I can really compare it to is like if your hand falls asleep or something, and you move it and you feel like that tingly feeling, like there's a billion pins and needles in in your hand. It doesn't really hurt, but you guys all know the feeling. You know, you've all had feet fall asleep or hands fall asleep or something like that. It's like that, except imagine it, instead of feeling like pins and stuff, liquid. And you feel the liquid like swirling around. It is the weirdest feeling. But not necessarily painful, just really weird. And so he stabbed me in, and he just stops and he looks at me and he's like, "Are you on any sort of like medications or drugs?" And I'm like, "Nope." And he's like, "You're not on any painkillers or anything?" I'm like, "Nope." "Why?" And he's like, "This is normally the part where grown men are like in agonizing pain, freaking out." And I'm like, "Wait, this is the part that's supposed to hurt really bad?" And he's like, "Yeah." And and I'm not even sweating or anything. Like, I'm just, my arms are still crossed. I'm not like tensing up. I'm not squeezing my arms or anything. I'm just sitting there like waiting for this immense pain. And he looks at me like I am insane. Like I took a bunch of like painkillers or something, like a handful of Vicodin before I walked in or something like that. And he's just looking at me like I'm a freaking robot or something. And I'm like, this is the part that everybody's warned me about that's supposed to be terrible. And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Are you done?" And he's like, "No, we still got halfway to go." I'm like, "All right, maybe it'll start hurting really bad, you know, in the next like couple injections." And it doesn't, dude. Like, it's it hurts, I guess, but it hurts in like the same way that you're getting a needle. I don't know, because like I said, I have really high uh pain tolerance. But he just looks at me and he goes, "How painful were those surgeries that your dad did to you?" Because I told him all about them. And I'm like, "Honestly, those surgeries probably hurt like 4 or 5 times worse than this." And he just he gives me this look like, "What the hell did your dad do?" and, and I'm like, "I don't know, man. I didn't look. I didn't ask the details. All I know is that he just went in there. He went ham with an X-Acto knife and some nail clippers." And so I'll put the picture in right now of what my toe looked like after they had injected the numbing stuff. Um, and you can see it's orange or like yellowish because of the initial like numbing stuff that they put on it. But you can see like a big fat hole on my toe. That's from the needle. That's how fat the needle was, dude. I wasn't even kidding. It's like that big of a needle. It left a huge hole in my toe, and they stabbed me with that thing like 6 times. Um, and the reason my toe looks so fat is it's actually like a water balloon. Like, it is, I'm not even kidding. It's like a water balloon filled with that numbing stuff. Like, if I move my toe, I could feel the numbing liquid like moving around. My toe is literally a water balloon full of that stuff. It's really gross when you think about it. Um, and so he's like, "All right, I'm gonna let you sit here for a little while. I'll be back in a few minutes after that numbing stuff is kicked in." I'm like, "Okay." So I sit there. He comes back like 15 minutes later, and he's like, "Is it numb?" I'm like, "I don't know. I can still move it." And he's like, "Um, all right. You should be able to move it. You just shouldn't be able to feel it." And I thought I could feel it, and I was like, "Okay, well, I think I can still feel it." So he walks up to it and he pushes like really, really hard on the corner of my toe where before it caused me to almost cry when I stubbed that thing. And he's like pushing on it really hard, and I don't feel it at all. And I'm like, "Yeah, no, no, I'm guessing it's numb." And he's like, "Okay, I just want to make sure you don't feel any sharp pain." So he grabs scissors, he stabs me in the toe with scissors, and he's like, "Did you feel that?" And I'm just looking at horror as this dude is literally stabbing, stabbing my toe, and I don't feel it at all. And it's like the weirdest thing. I'm just like, "Nope, I didn't feel that at all." He's like, "All right, you're good. You're ready. And he's like, all right, we're ready to begin. And so what they do is and this is where it's going to go into super detail, and I'm also going to have a picture of it. So, last warning, like you thought the last picture was bad, which it really wasn't, but this is where it's going to get intense. So, they take this sharp thing, um, and he shoves it down where the cuticle is. So it's kind of hard for me to show you, but you see right there, where the nail connects to the skin? So he takes a sharp thing and he stabs it down there to make sure that the skin isn't connected to the nail anymore. Um, and it's just bleeding all over the place. And then he takes nail clippers basically and like snips it practically in half. So like half my toenail, he just pulls on out, and then the whole time I'm not feeling it at all. It is gushing blood, and before he starts, he ties my toe around, and he's like, sometimes it can bleed quite a bit, so let me just tie this around your toe, and I'm like, are you did you just tourniquet my toe? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, that's a tourniquet. Sometimes it can bleed pretty bad. And so once he like snips it, it starts bleeding really bad. And he's like, okay, maybe I should make the tourniquet a little tighter. And I'm just watching as my toe is shooting blood. It's shooting blood is a little dramatic, but it is blood is everywhere, dude. It is leaking out like crazy. It is just covering the entire like paper mat thing. It's bad, dude. It is bleeding hard. So he ties the tourniquet a bit tighter, and just like holds this rag on it, and it is just bleeding profusely. And that's when I started getting a little lightheaded because I just see all this stuff happening to my toe. Even though I don't feel it, I'm still watching it, and it is the weirdest experience. Um, and I am just getting freaked out because this is a lot of my blood shooting out. Um, and yeah, then he pulls out this gnarly, like curved, pointy ass nail piece that had been digging into the side of my toe. And he's like, yeah, this is why you can't do home surgeries to take it out, because this thing was like inside the side of my toe, really deep in there. And he's like, yeah, it would have been way too hard for you to take it out. Um, so yeah, here's the picture of after the they call it a nail avulsion, I think, or something like that. But yeah, the picture will be on right now. Yeah, he just practically snipped my nail in half, and it's pretty disgusting. um, didn't hurt at all though. It hurts kind of now because now it's just all raw. It's all raw skin. And so I have to constantly be bandaging it. I have to constantly wash it out. And it kind of hurts like a bitch. So um yeah, that's fun. But I thought, hey, um enough people seemed kind of interested in vlogs, so and longer vlogs. So I figured we could have some story time because I that's something I went through and wanted to share. So, the moral of the story is have your father or somebody in your life put you through extreme amounts of pain, so that way when you have to go through extreme amounts of pain, it'll be nothing. Then it'll be nothing. If you have to get giant shots in your toe into the muscle or whatever, it'll be nothing. And they'll think you're insane. Your doctor will think you're insane because you'll just be sitting there as they're stabbing away into your foot with a giant ass needle. And yeah, you can say, I felt worse. I felt worse. Now I just need to get shot or stabbed or something like that. And then that will, escalate it. And then, you know, What's the worst that can happen? Hmm? I'll break a bone or something. I'll just snap my arm in half and be like, that doesn't really hurt. That doesn't really hurt. Also, the moral of the story is it's not that bad if you do have an ingrown toenail. Honestly, I'm gonna say instead of just living with it with that ongoing pain, just go to the doctor, man. With our health insurance, I don't even think we really had to pay anything. Um, and even if you do have to pay, it's a very very straightforward procedure. I don't imagine it's very expensive. Just get it done, and then you won't have to live in agonizing pain. Well, you will while it's all raw and disgusting like it is right now, but down the line, in 6 to 9 months, when the nail is finally healed in, you'll be good to go. Um, but yeah, just wanted to tell you guys about that. Why? Well, the real reason is because I'm supposed to be doing homework, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to right now, so I decided to make this video. But I do need to do homework. Um, so thank you everybody for watching. If you did watch, hopefully you were thoroughly grossed out by the story. If not, then congratulations, you have a solid stomach. Go be a doctor or a forensics person or an embalmer or something, dude. I don't know. Taxidermy guy. I don't know. Go do something with that talent because it's pretty rare. Most people get grossed out by that stuff. But yeah, pray for my toe. And I will see you guys in the next vlog arena, which who knows what that'll be about. Hopefully I don't have to undergo any more surgeries. And we'll all be happy. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the future. Bye.